I remember going to a party when I was 15, 16, maybe 17, and it was in a place called Goodmayes, and we had friends. It was a Christian school I went to, and we had friends from all sorts of backgrounds and different skin colours, and the party was terrible, properly ruined some. But the part which is relevant to now was, I remember we were. It must have been 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning when I think we were trying to get out, but we couldn't. I don't know where my parents were, and I don't know. I must have created a yarn, spun a yarn. But we had the BNP waiting outside to beat us all up, and it was just down to the skin colour of a few of our friends. And they were waiting outside. I remember calling the police, and the police weren't anywhere to be found. And part of my memory is going to be pretty shocking because it's been 30 years, and also because I'd been probably drinking bottles of Malibu or whatever was available. But I remember being 15, 16 and thinking, who on earth were these people? I mean, there was a kid in my class who got involved in it horribly. But it felt so weird that people were so ready to be so hateful. It felt so alien to me. Why were they so angry at a bunch of teenagers? And these kids were older or adults. They were adults. And I just couldn't understand. I remember going to my first football match at West Ham, which was the local team, and it put me off football entirely. There was this hatred. There was this kind of visceral hatred, and we see it in society now, and it's no longer restricted to parties or skinheads. It's no longer restricted just to football stands or the kind of toing and froing to the match. It seems to be everywhere. And I just sort of, I don't know, I'm making this video because I sort of think that maybe the church should be doing something about this, should be saying something about this, rather than, I don't know, keeping it in its four walls. So anyway, I thought I'd make a video. This isn't new, but its proliferation and its exaggeration, its growth is new. It's a big deal. And I don't want to be part of that at all. I want to be able to ask questions of, why on earth is it happening? Why on earth is hatred coming to the fore? And yeah, sure, there are things that are happening in Britain that are ugly and sinful or evil or whatever religious language we want to apply to it. And the reason I'm applying religious language to it is because it probably is. And the response to that is not hatred, it's justice. It's not our justice, it's God's justice. And I don't know, I'm no expert at all, but be careful who you're getting associated with right now. Be careful with the retweeting or the Facebook posts, the Instagram feed that feeds you and feeds you and feeds you lies. The reason I'm doing YouTube and doing all this stuff is because, I don't know, I want to do something that's positive online, and hopefully I'm creating videos that are positive. Yeah, sure, they're challenging or they're critical, but they're not negative and hateful. They're not bitter. They're not trying to divide people. They're trying to bring people together, and I think that's what we need to be doing. Anyway, this was just a really short kind of thing. I'd done it in my garage because I wanted to sit in here before a phone call I've got in 20 minutes. But yeah, be careful who you're associated with. Really decide. And perhaps if you're a church leader, you need to start raising your flag a lot higher. Please like and subscribe. Thanks, guys.